on Jeff Burke's post. Some of it was good and some of it was bad. I won't talk about, bad about anyone because everyone was able in certain parts to come to like actual cordial conversation. Other parts got heated, but for the most part, it was actually a little more normal and cognizant than I thought it would be. But yeah, after 400 comments, I'm ready to take another trip through the multiverse.
Maybe at the end, okay, maybe
The
we'll.
multiverse has to come naturally. You can't request a trip to the multiverse.
If you're
Yeah,
good,
this-
if you're good, Zach,
and I'm nowhere in the fucking comments.
maybe if you're good,
Oh, yeah,
Zach,
you're all in it.
You're blocked by everybody.
Blocked by everybody in the fucking comment thread.
maybe if you're good, we'll go to the multiverse.
You picked a good night to get in a fight with everyone, Zach.
Too bad they're not.
Jesus fuck, 515 comments.
Too bad they're not man enough to come in. I know. It's so dangerous for them to come into a chat on a computer in StreamYard and raise their voice or get yelled at. It's so frightening. It's so violent and dangerous, right?
I mean, the thing is that there's what three conservatives, on this particular podcast, right? And we had this dude that was pretty far left on here, and it was a perfectly amicable exchange for the entire time, right?
Jeff wouldn't even come on a show with just me. I was trying to goad him into coming on and just yelling at me. I said, dude, I won't even defend myself. Just come in and tell me all the ways I'm wrong about occultism. Tell me why it's so cool. Tell me why it's great that Batman writers and Justice League writers and Watchmen writers and Swamp Thing writers, tell me why it's awesome that occultists are writing those books. And he wouldn't do it.
I'd like to hear that.
Wait,
Tell him to come on here, Zach.
He won't do it.
My freaking mind is like burned now through all those comments. What?
Tell Jeff Burke to come on here and tell us why it's awesome to have Satanists writing children's comic books.
I mean, most of Grant Morrison's that I've read aren't really kids' books.
I know. I'm being,
that's
facetious.
like, I gotcha, Strange. He writes those Batman comics for adults, not for kids. Like, you can't buy them in a comic shop. Like, any kid can't buy them in a comic shop. Like,
I mean,
Well,
sure, but
any
that's a
kid can
fucking
see
parent's
anything.
responsibility.
But kid can see anything on the internet at the sound of
Sure,
their fingertips,
absolutely.
right? I mean,
absolutely. So why are we even making a distinction? If kids can look at anything they want to and parents aren't going to police them, then why are we even making a distinction about what's for kids and what's not? You can buy them in a comic book shop for kids.
well, there is a distinction though made, right? I mean,
I would say
It's a
I'm
fucking
back to
parent's
Sean's
responsibility to
distinction.
keep them
Yeah,
away.
I mean, but there is a distinction in the
otherwise.
comic book shop, right? They're not selling.
Children's series because it's.
I mean, kids don't read comics anymore anyway.
Okay, well, all that is nonsense. A nonsense argument when you take an iconic children's character, pervert it for adults, and then say it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that comic book character that
I
they.
mean, I do agree with that.
Kids
Like,
don't even wanna
especially
read
with like
comics today.
Sabrina, right? The teenage witch.
They were
That
3
seems.
years old.
I see that that's a perversion. Yeah, I agree with you guys with Sabrina as an example. You know what I'm talking about?
The teenage witch.
Yeah. It was like a property for young tweens, girls,
I mean-
maybe even earlier, and then they turned it into like a satanic, creep
I mean, I've
fest.
watched that, and I'm not a big fan of it because it basically is just like, ooh, dark and edgy reboot. Like that's ever been a good idea.
I'm not even triggered about it being for kids, like Grant Morrison writing iconic children's characters for adults as an occultist. I don't care, but like that's just semantics. Like, oh, well, technically you wrote it for. Who cares? To me, that's like a non-issue to argue about. Who cares?
Yeah, that was pretty much my response to it because it never really negated what we're saying, like is the core issue. Like it's just all this
That's
other
always how Jeff argues.
Okay, so what are you going to do about it, I guess, right? So, I mean, if we got Grant Morrison, who is an occultist, right, that is writing Batman stuff, does appeal to young 12-year-old boys, right, even though it's marketed towards adults, what do you propose as the
I
solution?
propose that Jeff Burke get on my show and tell me why that's awesome. That's all.
I mean, why is it not? Why is it not awesome?
I thought you were going to end that sentence with "I propose Jeff Burke, get off my dick."
Jeremy's one of the things I want to cancel everything. I don't.
But what are you going to do about it? I guess, right? I mean, what is the proposed solution?
I want to talk about it. I get shut down from all angles. Anybody in culture, because they love Batman so much, they're so fucking triggered by this pop culture icon that when I say, hey, there's some kind of evil people writing some of these stories, oh, fuck you for even thinking you're going to tell me I can't read Batman. It's like, dude, read all the evil Batman you want. I'm just pointing out that it exists.
Okay, so the fact that it exists, let's say
Batman is the Batman who laughs. Come on.
Okay, so it exists. So what, right? What are you going to do about it? I guess.
Yeah,
what do you propose that be done about it? Anything?
At this point, all I'm exploring is what it does to people. What is it doing to people? Does it do
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting question. What do you think it does to people, I guess?
I don't know. I can't ever get
talking to it about it every show.
As soon as Douglas Lane left, everything went to shit.
Hang on. I've been religious longer than either of you guys.
I don't give a fuck about your fucking purity spiral here, Jeremy. I got saved by the Holy Spirit in 1992. When did you? I've got a bigger Christian dick than you do. William Ramsey's 10 years older than both of us. William Ramsey's a Christian that's 10 years older than both of us. By your purity spiral standards, that means he wins.
All right, kids, if you don't stop fighting, I'm turning this car around.
Hey, the point is that I'm
turning the car around. I'll do it.
I don't need anybody to preach at me what I'm going to read or not. That's why I got out of Bizarro community.
Did anybody in Bizarro tell you what you couldn't read?
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin Strange.
They couldn't read. Yeah, they said they couldn't read that Kevin Strange asshole because he's a dick.
All in favor of ending the segment now. Let's just end it.
Get a word in.
End it. You've got like a ton of words in, and they're all the freaking same thing.
No. When I read I was reading Tao Lin, something by Tao Lin around the time that he got accused in the Me Too shit, the bullshit, and everybody started eyeing me like, oh man, you wasted your money on that, and are you really reading that? You know, I hope you didn't.
Am I saying that at all? Have I said that about Grant Morrison at all? Have I told anybody not to fucking read Batman?
This issue, it's not real. It's not something. Fine, it's something that you guys want to explore. Why do I have to talk about it every show, though?
You fucking bring it up every fucking week.
No,
you didn't bring it up this time. You have to give us that.
When?
I don't know exactly.
No, I didn't. You guys brought up a Jeff Burke tweet 10 minutes before I got on the air. My mind was in a completely different direction, and now you're saying, Jeff's, things are heating up with Jeff. I was going to talk about Vincenzo, and then I was going to get into books. This is a podcast that celebrates books.
Don't worry.
I'm not trying to burn books.
Ever
I'm not trying to burn books. I don't want to destroy books. I want to prop them up. That's what I'm doing.
I will never. No. Fucking week ago, you wanted to do Mr. Drama Stream and call out Jared Barbie, but this week when I suggest, hey, here's a real good Jeff Burke,
I was fucking cordial with Jared Barbie, and he said we were cool.
We would have been cordial with Jeff Burke, but he won't come home.
Okay, I think we need to take a step back now.
Yeah, let's just like.
No, I think that Jeremy needs to continue to yell like that. That was great. Where'd he go?
I want to fucking talk. I'm so tired of having to fight for airtime here. I get it. There's a lot of people in here, and I love all you guys. But I'm not going to be shamed for what I read.
Who has fucking shamed you ever? Ever?
You when you implicate.
I don't implicate shit. You put words in my fucking mouth and then freak out about them.
When you imply that what I'm reading is satanic and I'm inviting the devil into my life because I read
on your list.
Because I read Batman.
Name one I told you couldn't read. One.
It doesn't matter. You and Zach gang up on me anymore, man.
I'm being quiet.
Zach's not even talking, dude.
Yeah, y'all, Jeremy, just take a chill.
I'm tired of talking about it, though.
How did it get into this?
I literally wasn't talking
to that guy. Who brought it up?
Because I'm here trying to be chill and enjoy,
Come on, keep yelling. Keep yelling. I figured if you're gonna yell over each other, it may as well put some metal music on for you to scream too.
I'm sorry, guys, that it got heated there for a second.
Jeremy,
I liked it.
I've got a lot going on, and maybe that's influencing it. Okay, but I'm here to. I want to convey my love of books, and it feels like this whole occult agenda, this anti-occult agenda, while noble and admirable, is in a way trying to tear down these books that I'm trying to prop up. That's what it feels like.
Which book am I trying to tear down that you're trying to prop up? Which fucking book, Jeremy?
I don't know. What have you said is evil?
Zero.
I'm going to put this out there.
Okay, if you have no examples, then why is it even an issue? If you have no examples of something that's demonic or whatever.
You tell me. Why is it an issue? You're the one that
you guys make it an issue every week.
Yeah, the only demonic book I know about is
you get in the chat. You get in the chat and you say, "Oh, Jeremy passionately defends the occult and the devil. Yeah. Satan's grabbed a hold of him or something."
He's making fun of you.
Yeah. Clearly a joke.
Take it, chill.
Clearly a joke.
Like that.
But I do think I think it's even harder than Jeff Burke does, which is crazy. It's crazy. I get more pushback from you than I do anybody else. Anybody else.
We need to try to get Slavo
I turned
my
my back on an entire community because I didn't like how they were treating you. If I didn't care about you,
I care about you too.
Okay, well,
you drive me crazy when you put words.
This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly
fucking say.
This is exactly what they wanted, by the way. But for one thing, Zach showed me that Vincenzo shit. And, I was going to make a big issue out of that because it felt like he was trying to turn Zach against me. And then I get this thing about Jeff 10 minutes before the show, and my mind's already in a different direction. And
like I said, I'll never fucking email you again. No worries, brother. God forbid.
Why? Because my mind was in a different direction.
Yeah, because I can read that fucking mind and know that it's just off limits to fucking email you some crazy Jeff Burke drama. So God forbid.
No, it just caught me at a bad time. That's all. I don't mean to come off as abrasive here. Most of it is just having to shout over everybody, and I know that's because we have so many people in here.
We're the only two people talking.
Huh?
We're the only two people talking.
Yeah, right now. But
let's get Phoenix in here. Where's he at?
Phoenix is a cool guy. I don't think he's here tonight, but I'm sorry that got heated a minute ago. And that's exactly what they wanted to do with all this shit. By the way,
fuck that. If we're in an argument, we're gonna fucking fight about it. And for you to forever, for the next 50 years, be like, that's what the enemy wants. Fuck that. Fuck them. They don't even cross my mind. If you and I are having a disagreement, we're gonna have a disagreement like men. We're gonna talk it out. Period. Because we're human beings and we're passionate.
Well, no, I'm gonna approach it my way, and you're gonna approach it your way. That's how we're gonna do it.
Oh my God! You can. Mainly Jeremy.
Hey,
okay,
this isn't a purity spiral. Hang on, Ben. Hang on, Ben. Hang on, Ben. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not a purity spiral. It's the point that I have searched long and hard for my own, niche in religion, what suits me best, my personal relationship. It doesn't involve burning books, and I know that's an ad hom, but I'm using it's a metaphor, okay?
Jeremy, I will never talk about anything on this podcast that isn't pre-approved by you ever again.
No, it's not about censorship either.
Ironically, you're the only one that's peed on a book.
William Ramsey, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I apologize, but. Yeah, man, William Ramsey is so full of shit. I fuck William Ramsey the day.
Again, Jeremy, far more willing to defend Crowley acolytes. Crowley who tortured
Crowley. Cats. No, fuck Crowley.
Crowley who tortured cats. Grant Morrison is a direct acolyte of Crowley. Gets more defense from you than William Ramsey, a Christian occult investigator.
No, I don't feel that William Ramsey is all that genuine. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and work on him and throw him on your purity spiral and see if he floats.
It's not purity spiral. It's not purity spiral. I have my own personal relationship with my religion, and it doesn't involve skewering everything in pop culture that might be evil. I'm more of a librarian archivist mindset where you guys want to
you don't know. You just get all triggered and think that we're attacking you. You don't
I'm
ever
more of a,
have time to even
my
consider.
mindset is more of a librarian mode. It's a librarian type of mindset where if it exists, I have to catalog it.
Right.
That's not,
And Zach and Kevin are more like book banners.
I mean, that's what it feels like sometimes. Yeah.
You know what?
No, that's what it feels
You
like
and
all the time, Jeremy. It drives me fucking crazy because you put words in my mouth. I haven't called for or advocated for banning any fucking fiction.
Other than Harry Potter because it's satanic.
You see how that sounds?
you know what needs to happen?
That devil music. I got out of that shit in the '90s. That whole like fundamentalist Baptist, Marilyn Manson sucks his own dick. You know
what needs to
That's
happen?
admirable. What?
Marilyn Manson, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan, by the way.
You know what needs to happen?
Yeah, and he also read the Bible and said that it had good lessons in it. By the way, see,
You know what needs to happen?
What needs to happen, Ben?
He did. You can laugh at that, but he did.
Jeremy, you and Kevin just need to get together and fuck like rabbits on coke.
I mean, I agree. I've been trying to talk Kevin into going down to Tennessee.
No.
Me and Gregor had a cool conversation earlier today about this. Gregor jumped in and was going on. Is Duncan Trussell really an occultist? And I threw a bunch of stuff at you. Have you looked at any of that?
Yeah. I mean,
He's deep.
like I just said, like I said in the string was, it seemed as if you were trying to say the clip that you were sharing specifically proved that he was a cultist, and it didn't,
Well,
and you provided additional evidence.
this was
and I'm fine with it.
this is the analogy that I used earlier. If a Kirby vacuum salesman comes to your door and tries to sell you a vacuum, but doesn't specifically say in the pitch that he uses it at his own house, do you assume that he doesn't, or do you assume that he does? If he's the one trying to sell it to you, because that clip is Duncan Trussell trying to sell occultism to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounded like, I mean, everything that he said in that clip was stuff that I knew already, right? That I would say if I was just talking to a dude myself, right? Just based on my own studies, right? It doesn't mean I'm a practicing occultist. Right.
Well, but it means you have an interest in the occult more than the average person doesn't.
Oh
know.
yeah, sure. Certainly, I have an interest in the occult more than the average person. You do too, right? I mean, you're the one recommending that Jeremy read The Secret, right? Weren't you the gentleman telling him to read that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an occult New Age literature, right? That's satanic through and through.
I will entertain any book recommendations ever. I mean, I will always entertain book recommendations, but
yeah, me too.
Recommendations to just like not disregard a book. It's not keeping.
Who did I tell you to disregard? Ever?
You talk in the chat about me like defending the occult passionately, and that's not what I'm defending. I'm defending art and free speech. No, I do not.
Yeah.
No, he defends literature that just so happens to be crafted by occultists. It's different.
I think that the kind of
like our man Zach earlier, who was defending Moby Dick. He said it was a wholesome piece of literature. However, if you look, it's obviously satanic.
I'm going to have to go through it again, but I'll have to because Jeremy is not understanding what we're saying. Now, first
the occult is inconsequential to my life.
I'll tell you. I'll explain how this all started if you let me. There was a show a month and a half, 2 months ago where we just barely talked about, I think we were even talking about Philip K. Dick or something, and it just barely grazed the surface of occultism. And then, or maybe we were talking about Pizzagate, and I was trying to bring up the spiritual occult aspect of it, and Ben shot it down immediately and said those people don't really believe that. And it's just been slowly building. I've been building evidence over time that the people involved in Pizzagate, the people involved in our government, the people that are involved in Hollywood and in our entertainment industry are real occultists who really believe that these demons exist. That they
okay. Wait. Is this Jeff?
Hey, Jeremy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is that Pedro?
Yeah, it's Pedro.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, guys.
Okay,
how you doing?
Someone took up the offer.
No, I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are things going on down in Brazil?
Yes, so and so.
Okay, is this a
not so hot right now?
Pedro?
No, it's me.
Okay.
I'm just.
Okay, well, I'm glad. Thanks for coming on. This is a bit of a surprise.
Pedro
Yeah, no,
Proenza, right?
yeah, I'm just here for one thing only.
Yeah, okay, good. Let me have it. Let me have it.
If you click on my YouTube my if you look for my display name on YouTube, you'll find my YouTube channel. I post bass covers there, like daily bass covers of whatever songs I want. So if you guys are interested in some cool bass covers, you can just look for my name, Punkster Bass, and find me out there.
Okay.
know you
Well,
Like,
I
well,
think actually, managed. I think I saw you a couple of your videos, and you had one where let's say
Yeah,
you
nice.
can-
That's the stash. That's the sexy stash.
So Pedro, what was the radical shift from like hating me a few years ago to wanting to come on now? And I'm not against it. I'm just curious what changed your mind?
No, nothing. I just want to promote my channel.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's
We
a
all
good
used to
thing.
be good buddies. Me and Pedro used to be good buddies too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you two blocked me. I didn't block you. You both blocked
did?
me. Yeah, if
I did?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very rare. You must have really.
Both Kevin and Jeremy blocked me.
Okay.
But yeah,
Really
this is
gotta
my,
show them,
this
because I don't
my
usually
channel.
do it.
I try to
Sorry.
keep things like really rustic. So it's just my room, no editing, just like nothing more. Just me sitting playing. This is a good song, by the way. This
Let's hear this shit. Play it, Jeremy.
I
Yeah.
do this I do this like ironic cool thumbnails like just MS Paint. There's Band Knee is a great band. I recommend it. It's a Boston band, really cool. I have some System of a Down covers. Some
Oh,
I
wait,
think
well,
there's a
In here to
there's a Sepultura.
just to promote his bass channel, and they're talking about that on the thread that we were on.
Yeah. Jeremy said something I really like
Why
he
can you not
he
get
def-
on here and have
like-
a
like-
genuine conversation, which I was
like
trying to
Jeremy.
the whole time? Why can you not?
No, because Jeremy said he defends the arts, and he's a patron of the arts, and I agree with him, of course, about book burnings and etc. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's check out Punkster Bass on YouTube, and you have a new version of Benjamin out that corrects a lot of the copy editing, don't you? Is he gone?
No. I have the version with me. Yes, I corrected myself the versions. If someone wants me to send them to them the corrected version, I can do that. So thank you very
Okay.
much, guys. Bye bye.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Do you see how cordial people can be with each other when we're
Yeah.
actually
No,
talking?
he was doing that specifically to troll. I mean, I can tell that by reading on the post right there. One of them, I mean, I wish.
I mean, that wasn't much of a troll.
I mean, I think it was great that some random dude came in to
That's what I
advertise his
want.
YouTube
That's what I
channel.
want. Yeah. That's what I want to
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying they were talking about doing that beforehand as like a joke, which is fine. It's just I feel that we can all, especially Kevin, if he can talk to some of these people, things can get worked out. But I don't think it's going to happen at this point. It's just going to be kind of joking, which that's fine. None of this is like super serious. But anyway,
It's a
I'm
whisper
laying down my weapon.
said about me with 400 comments, and I'm supposed to go in and wave to everyone, wave to my adoring fans.
I'm laying down my weapon. I don't want to any more aggression against my friends. You know, so
Well, I was trying to make the
Against me.
point that I was trying to make was that everything that's happening right now, our city's burning to the ground, the coronavirus, Pizzagate, the pedophile sex cults, it all has a
my
spiritual
personal life.
it all has a spiritual element to it, and that's what Zach and I have been exploring lately. And it takes up a lot of our time. He and I have a lot of intense conversations about it. For the longest time, I just ignored that aspect of it and was into the politics and the culture war aspect of it. And recently, and again, it was kind of kicked off from Ben saying people don't really believe that stuff. And I know you don't mean all people, Ben, but in the thrust of that conversation that we had, it sparked an interest in me to go and try to find examples of avowed occultists in pop culture, in politics, in Hollywood, in academia, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. And then people like Jeff Burke want to be like, oh, you're a church mom. You see Satanists around every corner. That is
You are.
that's the cover that they use to never have to answer any questions. They have this cloak of invisibility that they throw on themselves. That's like, oh, if you even question my
Anyone who actually practices occultism will be happy to talk to you about it.
well, not Jeff Burke.
I don't think that Burke is an occultist.
He is an occultist.
He is?
Yes, he is. Yeah,
So
yeah.
says you. You think everyone's an occultist.
No, he said as much on my thread. I'm not a Satanist. I'm an occultist, which is like saying I'm a Baptist.
Well, see, he's willing to talk to you about it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he wouldn't come on a thread.
Well, he wouldn't talk to you, but he talked to people about it.
I mean,
But
so is
then-
John D a cultist or a Satanist, right? Like, I mean, I thought he was supposedly communicating with angels, right?
So, Gregor, you're pretty you're at least knowledgeable about the occult.
Right, yeah.
So you know that there are all these different gradations of occult. There's ceremonial magic, there's chaos magic, there's black
Right, there's low magic, high magic, all this different, yeah.
There's Eastern mysticism,
Right.
Buddhism, all that
Yeah.
different stuff. What the
Yeah.
Christian does is say that's all Satanism.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, but I think that's a bit.
Yeah, I mean that.
you know.
Well, I mean, of course Christians
Christianity
think
is a
that.
blanket term. Christianity is a blanket term for Seventh-day Adventists, for Protestants, for Catholics, for a dozen different denominations. It's
Right.
all just thrown under the blanket of Christianity. So throwing a blanket over that and calling it Satanism isn't some ignorance of the nuance between the
It absolutely is. Most of these religions don't even have a concept of Satan.
Oh yeah, but you could argue that that's kind of rationally
So,
flawed.
I mean, you guys want to talk about it? Jeremy, is it okay if we get into the weeds and talk about occultism a little bit?
Sure, why not?
He's gonna be all buzz, little man again.
I won't, because I did have some books that I read this week that I wanted to talk about and some other issues.
Well, we got plenty of time. It's not like
Right. It's not like I'm going to work tomorrow. We do have plenty of time. I think I'm going to mute and let you guys explore this, and I'll just be a passive observer.
Well, it's
And
not going to take long. It's going to take a minute.
okay,
He's
I'm
gonna
okay with
play
that.
with his little peasant man.
Right, I'm okay with.
So Ben and Gregor, you're both, and Zach, I guess we're all sort of knowledgeable enough about this stuff to know that any form of magic or mysticism, the idea is we pull from an invisible energy source through meditation, through prayer, through sigil magic, through deep trances, through chanting, through ritualization, ceremonial rituals. We are pulling from an unseen energy, and then there are different terms for that energy. So Ben, when you say most of these people don't even believe in Satan, the fact of the matter
I'm
is
talking about like Eastern religions. A lot of them don't even believe in like gods in the traditional sense.
some of them don't believe in gods. They believe in this. They believe in chi. They believe in this energy source, but it's all the same energy source. It's like everybody arguing over Yahweh, the Abrahamic religion. It's all the same God, but we give it a different. Every one of them gives it a different flavor. The idea here is that all occultism tries to draw forth from this unseen energy in their own way, and then use it.
I mean, if that energy is God, isn't Christianity occultism too?
Yes.
No, I had to go through the whole thing. I've already went through this on that dang comment thread. The whole point of it is that there is one true God, and He created everything, and there are like these unseen spiritual realms, and all of these energies are coming from a force that's less than God, but is constantly trying to corrupt us because we live in a fallen world. That is why Christians say all brands of occultism are basically Satan.
Gateways for demonic possession. They're
Yeah.
gateways for. So
I mean, this is basically just saying I have this one lens, and I'm only going to look at everything through this one lens.
correct, because
That's-
they say
that's all it is.
Do not.
The other stuff is harmful.
I don't. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. It's just like I'm saying. Well, you just have one lens, and you're looking through it. Okay.
That's
I don't
it.
think that's a. I don't think that's a. I think that's a very flawed way of looking at things.
Okay, well, you can only see an X-ray through one particular lens. To throw the whole concept of well, we can't. Radiation is just radiation because we have to develop particular lenses to look at particular types of radiation. I mean, it's like if we're going to even conceive of the idea that there's an unseen energy that can change the force of will, then the idea that there's nuance to that, or that there are repercussions to it, like, why is that any crazier? Why is it any crazier to suggest that some of it's bad, some of it is harmful to you, and some of it isn't?
Well, personally, I think the whole thing doesn't exist. But if you're going to just take everything and say, I'm only going to look at this as a Christian, I'm not going to try to understand the actual roots of these religions themselves, then, I mean, I just don't know what to tell you.
We all Christians agree that these are basically like these, I don't know if you would call them fallen angels or whatever, but it's...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're just saying everything is subsumed through this Christian worldview.
I think we should drop religion on this show, not because of you, Ben, because, I mean, we can talk about it and it's fine, but it's, for some reason, it has been like the most heated this show has ever gotten. And, okay, Jeremy, can you unmute now?
Yeah, well, let's just go into talking about books. So I finished reading Pax Americana today. It was a really fun book. It was really good. I expected it to be a lot more dense. It is a pretty heavily satirical book, but for the most part, it's a pretty straight spy thriller. It's basically about a bunch of government agents, a bunch of foreign governments, and corporate interests trying to steal an AI known as Symmetra, which is basically a. Can all of you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the
Yeah, I can
screen
hear
is
you.
weird.
I was just thinking about Satan.
Yeah, the screen. Smile and say you love Satan. The screen looked weird, so it the screen looked weird, so I didn't know if I was coming through. But
Smoke crack worship.
Yeah, Lovecraft worship.
I said smoke crack worship Satan.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Lovecraft worship, which I mean, okay.
There are little weird cults that think that Lovecraft.
But I mean, back to the Satanism, right? I just want to tell you, guys, I'm going to try to get this guy to come on the show, right? Yeah. Who has gone through this journey since he was like 10 years old, studying occultism. He got into the occult, studied it like intensely for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And then ultimately, decided that what he was dabbling in supported the basic Christian worldview that you just explicitly described, which is that basically he was messing with fallen angels or whatever the case may be, and that he needed to basically get into essentially what he called it's some sort of a Catholic mysticism. It's like some sort of there's some kind of self priest anoint, some kind of Catholic situation where you can make yourself a priest by studying on your own or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what it's all about, but he's certainly a fascinating dude. Like I found out about about him through these videos that he had on YouTube forever. And I would just get up and I would watch them because they were just fascinating, because the guy was really not like in any way, I don't know, like mysterious about what he was explaining. He was very upfront and very practical in what he was explaining about magic and all that. It was very interesting or whatever. And then one day, like all of his videos just disappeared, and it turns out that he had some kind of a crazy supernatural experience that turned him on to giving up, a lifetime worth of study and becoming a self-ordained, essentially Catholic priest. So I'd like to try to get that guy on here to talk to you guys. I think you would find it fascinating.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon story. That's not an uncommon story. Oftentimes, when occultists get real deep in it, they actually summon what they believe to be some entity that scares the fucking shit out of them, and they can go to Christianity, and then that's the end of that.
Right. Is it are you playing psychological games with yourselves, basically solo live action role playing? I don't know, right? But it's still fascinating to me, right?
Absolutely. So, fascinating subject.
So I'm sorry, Pax Americana. I just didn't want to say I'm totally interested in the topic. right? I don't want to argue about it because I think it's fascinating. I mean, I think that, Ben's being a bit dismissive about it. I think that he could genuinely maybe look to folks, like maybe check out a video of like Steven Skinner to get some like
Robert
interviews.
I'm not saying these people don't believe what happened. I just
Right.
don't believe it.
Oh, I know, but this guy's at least convincing, right? The Steven Skinner guy, this Dr. Steven Skinner guy, he's at least very convincing that you think there might actually be something to it based on interviews that I've listened to with this cat. But anyhow, talk about your Pax Americana.
Okay. But yeah, Pax Americana is really good. It's a really good, like, satirical spy thriller. I highly recommend it. I'm going to have a review up of it soon. And I really wish Kurt could have come on to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about actually reading that pretty soon. I'm either going to read that one or the one Jeremy recommended.
Fucking Zach sent me this young adult Halloween tie-in.
Yeah, I think that's
little novella.
awesome.
Yeah, I started listening to the audio. He sent me this weird audiobook, and this guy is like, he's got this like Brooklyn accent as he's trying to read this. It's Michael Myers. It's this little young adult, like YA Michael Myers, little teeny like horror book, and it's
You sent that to me too, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
Why do you think I would care about that?"
From R.L. Stein, but with Michael Myers. Yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna finish it. I'm about an hour into it. It's about 4 hours.
But it did lead me to the audio version of this really hard to find Jeffrey Thomas Nightmare on Elm Street tie-in.
Oh,
so good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to that.
I kind of scrolled through that thread you were talking about. I did notice that Pedro said we should have Ben Burgess on, and I absolutely agree. I think Ben Burgess would be a great guest. He's a logic professor.
You guys didn't have any of these people on. That's what I don't get. They do these little passive-aggressive whisper things. Just come on and talk to us.
Yeah, I agree. Like any of these cats, right? I mean, I'd like to even have Jeff O'Brien on. It'd be wonderful.
Triggered.
I mean, he probably is a really nice guy.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. But either way, I also started reading a book called Dinosaurs and Potted Plants by
that book.
By J. Harry McGaha. Sounds like an idiot, but so far it's pretty fun.
McGaha.
He's controlled opposition. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a bitch.
He writes a good book. So how far are you into it?
I only read like the first page.
Oh God.
Yep, I'm about to finish another book too, and by the time Dinosaurs and Potted Plants comes out, I'm going to release this one that I'm about to finish now, and it's going to be close to 100,000 words worth of fiction, and I want it to be all released on one day, 2 books.
Why?
It's pretty ambitious.
And basically, I want to brag.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not that. It's just, I don't know. It's like a novel idea. Now
Won't your publisher be kind of annoyed that you're going to be self-publishing a competing book same day?
Damn.
SC doesn't care.
I don't know. Let's get him on here.
Hey,
Jeremy's back on.
Not hearing about it.
Hey, does SC want to come on, Zach, and talk
I forgot to send him the thing, given all this.
Okay.
It's 12:45 a.m. now. I kind of doubt it.
12:45 a.m. What are you talking about?
Well, where are.
Where I'm at.
Oh
She
shit!
lives in
it
Salt
is,
Lake
man.
City.
That's crazy. I didn't think it was that
The
late.
midnight hour, she cries more.
Now,
Burke is in Salt Lake City, so it'd only be like 10:45 where he is.
Mountain time.
Yeah.
now, I just got one question, Jeremy. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. Is this going to have to be a topic that we just completely drop? Like, let's just finish it now, because this night has been like, I hate to say it, but it's been like irrational and crazy. We just need to not get into this topic.
I think it's been a great show in terms of content, but I'm tired of talking about the whole occult, thing. I watched Out of Shadows. I get that some of it is bad, but I don't think that there's this massive. And I even can buy some things that are talked about in Pizzagate. Absolutely. yes, there is a cult in entertainment, but to believe that, I have to turn away from Watchmen and Batman and all this stuff that I enjoy because of its occult roots, I don't care that much. The occult is inconsequential to my life.
Telling you to, well, first of all, nobody's telling you to turn away from it. And second of all, the occult is not inconsequential to your life.
Yes,
if
it is.
you live in a spiritual realm, then you're being
It is inconsequential to my life.
you're being bombarded by demonic forces all day long.
No, you have self-identified as an atheist for years. It's not
Again, don't purity spiral me, dude. Don't purity spiral me.
purity spiral. I'm saying, preach to me. If you don't want me to purity,
shit!
My atheism or theism or anything.
Oh shit! I'm feeling that demonic influence.
I became born again, and
I'm 37 years old. I don't need
I'm
anybody.
fucking 39 years old. I don't need anybody to talk about.
I'm feeling the demonic influence right now. I'm feeling it. It's changing me. It's making me gay.
I have made my choice. For
What about my choice, Jeremy? What about my choice to think my own thoughts and speak my own words?
I know, you're trying to push it on me.
I don't fucking direct any of it at you.
Yes, you do. In the
Zero.
chat, you say he defends it passionately.
In the chat, I make jokes.
Well, I mean, it didn't come off that way when you started doing it.
That's on you, dude. You take shit.
Hey, girl, make mommy and daddy stop fighting.
I don't like to be preached at by either side.
I don't fucking like.
I'll just say this: look, we're not preaching at you.
Tell me what I can talk
just
about.
drop it because you're not listening to us, and it's okay.
You're
Him
not
and I can
listening to
talk
me.
about it on his show. We don't want
Never
to.
fucking tell me what I can talk about and what I can't talk about.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just saying I'm not going to be a part of it.
Good.
I
Let's
wish
just
I was more level-headed like Gregor. Gregor would have a great way to he would have put this to bed weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. Gregor's better than me. Everybody's better than me. I get it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Fucker, I said I wish I was more like Gregor.
I wish Gregor was my dad.
I think
can
Gregor
be.
actually might be my
$25 a month.
Bottom line,
How many-
stories are the most important thing in my life besides family, and that's what I defend passionately, not the occult story. Like I said, I'm a librarian.
No, Jeremy. You tell us every fucking day. You tell us every week, Jeremy, what you're passionate about. Ben, what are you passionate about?
No, I didn't. No. Hang on. No,
Finishing this.
Ben,
I'm passionate
don't
about-
that yet. I am a passionate defender of story, not the occult, and like a librarian or an archivist, and that's the bottom line.
Okay, let's keep it at that, and we just won't bring it up on here. Like I'm completely good for that because it's
Fucking
just,
William Ramsey has like polluted this.
Jeremy,
end it. Like,
Fuck that motherfucker guy.
oh my god.
I did
am I
send an
passionate
email
about?
to Damian Eccles, by the way, to get if he wants to give his side of the story. I doubt he will, but I sent an email.
you don't want to talk about it unless it's on your terms and your guest.
Yeah, it's my show.
Are you going to
Yeah,
turn?
it's my
are you
show. So yeah, I'm going to talk
Are
about it.
you going to turn your mic off and play video games while Damien talks about it? Oh, the occult again.
Yeah. Yeah,
You seem like a really nice guy.
yeah, I'm going to talk about it on my terms because it's my show. Yeah.
Well, it's just,
And if I turn my mic off and play video games, it's to add visuals to whatever
You're
we're
fucking
talking.
drinking now. Now I'm mad and drinking.
Listen, when I turn off my mic and play
You got
video
his face on now.
can I say anything?
You should put your face on there, Jeremy.
Jesus. When I turn off my mic and play video games, it's because I'm adding visuals to whatever we're talking about to accentuate. It's just like layering.
do have horrible graphics.
That's not what it's about. It's supposed to be surreal.
Not your father's root beer. I'm just drinking Busch Light.
Sorry, Strange. I think you're muted, and I didn't do it.
I'm muted. I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. Looked like you were.
Oh no, I'm going blind from the glare off your head.
On my head.
Yeah, I'm not intoxicated enough either. Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, so we all agree, no more occult.
So, Jeremy, you wanted to talk about some books that you read.
I did.
By the occult.
One of the authors that I'm about to talk about is pretty much a dipshit, but he writes very well, and that buys him some leeway.